Talking about thongs and
guys, welcome to the Ranger Wrap-Up. I am Joe. I am back this week. Daniel's not here, so I don't know why his name plaque's
Where's
here.
Daniel?
It shouldn't even be here.
Bah, bah.
Every time we call out something that Nagami gets wrong, he has to do a shot. That's a rule. New rule.
The show's going to be totally different.
By the time we get to Henshin, it's going to be completely off the wall. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We are here to talk about some Power Ranger news. I'm back from my journey in the Lone Star State.
Oh, how was that?
It was cool. I like Texas. I like Austin, Texas.
I've always had layovers in Texas. I never actually like stepped out of the airport.
Yeah.
Are the people different there? Or, like the mentality different over there? What?
The mentality is different, I feel like. It definitely is.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, I eventually want to go to Texas.
Well, guess what, Jezzer?
What?
You and I are going to go to New York. We'll be in New York next week. So we're going to do a hashtag show meeting. I put it on Jezzer to figure out what day we're going to do. Because I know that we're going to go to a basketball game on Friday.
I'm thinking maybe...
Tom Craven wants it on Sunday.
On Sunday?
We have a lot of time on Sunday. We do have a lot of time.
Yeah, but we are
Sunday.
trying to set up some interviews on Sunday.
We got some fun stuff going on Sunday.
But yeah, I was thinking over those stair places over there by.
No, not exactly where, when.
I know, but that's where I was thinking. Over there by those.
So yes, let us know what day works best for you, and we'll figure it all out. We want to hang out with all of our East Coast hashtag show crew. Mm-hmm. Hang out with you guys. Maybe grab a drink. Maybe grab some food. Maybe do some bowling. I think you said Lucky Strike is around.
Yeah, there's a Lucky Strike right next to the convention center, so that'd be cool.
And the week after, I'm gonna be in the Windy City, Chicago, Illinois.
Bulls game. Are you gonna go watch a Bulls game?
Yeah, because preseason, right?
Yeah, nice.
I might just go and see a Bulls game. And if you guys want to hang out with me in Chicago, let me know. I'll be there for a few days.
Did you do a meetup in Texas? Was there anybody?
Yeah, technically with Daniel
okay.
Kirshner. I didn't really publicize it. I did publicize a little bit that I was in Texas.
That's cool.
But we'll definitely be at New York. But how you doing?
Good.
How was last week?
Last week was good. I think it went well.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, you weren't here, but I think we had a fun time. Had a fun time talking about the new comic book.
You mean the Go-Go Power Rangers?
The Go-Go one, yeah. That was fun.
Let me ask you a question. How excited, now that we're coming to an end with Ninja Steel, are you getting more excited for Beast Morphers, or are you just kind of starting to wane on the franchise and just trying to move more towards the comics?
Well, actually, last week we covered the whole casting news with the supporting cast, and then the article you wrote about the possibility of...
No, that's a fact.
That's a fact.
I just wrote that in the article so Hasbro wouldn't get mad, but that's a fact.
Exit. Was it enter and exit?
Enter and exit.
I got pretty excited about it, like just the possibility of having human villains again. Because I think human villains are a lot... It's you feel more connected to these villains than if it were a suit actor.
Yeah.
And I think especially with these who the actor and actress that you cast, I think they'd be great villains for the show. So I'm actually excited. I'm not gonna get my hopes up because it's still under. I mean, it's technically Hasbro now, but it's still the same producers as the Neo Saban era. So I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna give it some time and we'll see.
Well, that's probably a good theory. Guys in the chat, thank you so much for spending your Saturday with us. We got Layla, Masked Rider Blue, Isaac, Jonathan Jennings, Thomas Franco. All of you guys in here, thank you guys so much
that one in.
so much for joining us this Saturday as we talk about Power Rangers. Now, it is Saturday and we got a new episode. We're closing out this season on Super Ninja Steel. And we got the episode tech support today.
Yeah.
Now, Jezzer, did you see said episode?
I did.
What did you think of said episode?
I liked last week's episode a little bit more than this week, but I mean the thing I liked about this week's episode is the villain. The villain was he has a big keyboard.
Keyboard face?
Yeah, he has a big keyboard because of the whole theme of the show.
Wait. Before you get into that, I do have to ask you.
What?
Typeface?
Typeface.
What would have been, this is a challenge to the chat. What is a better name instead of Typeface?
Ooh, Typeface.
So we're gonna go ahead and let you guys try to figure out who.
Keyboard Warrior.
Keyboard Warrior is not terrible. That's actually not terrible.
Yeah.
If this episode was all about social media bullying, this would have been a great character.
Yeah.
I think we just rewrote the episode better.
Well, he he didn't really have anything to do with like keyboard or typing. He was more of a computer virus. So I feel like they could have created a different monster for this,
Sure,
or
sure.
a different theme at least for the character. But the whole theme was that there's this girl that at the beginning of the episode, she revamped the librarian's system. And so you kind of establish her as this tech guru, and so Brody was helping her out with some samurai skills.
Not gonna lie, I actually really like the character of Emma.
Yeah.
I thought that the character, had we seen her introduced earlier on in the season, I think that the character could have done, could have at least been a red herring, because we do know that they're in the Sentai movie that there is a Green Ranger.
Yes.
Not so much in this movie, obviously. Not so much in this, but I think with that movie, people would have been insinuating, oh, maybe this could be.
Well, at the beginning of the season, I was expecting that princess to be the Green Ranger.
Viara.
Yeah, Viara. So if that was, I thought that was gonna be a thing, but I guess not. So, yeah, like there's a bunch of characters that they're adding into the show now that I feel like it's too late, especially with this being like towards the end of the episode.
Hey, more energy.
More energy says, yeah, it's like adding these characters towards the end. It's kind of like. It's kind of a waste.
What was that? What noise did you just make there?
Waste.
Is that your Goldar pooping face?
No, yeah,
that's
my Goldar's O face.
I do like Emma. I thought she was great. I actually thought she was pretty well acted as well.
Yeah.
I actually thought that she, no bullshit here. I think that she. I think that she would have been a better Ranger than Christiani.
Oh my gosh. I was not believing the whole Christiani thing being like this, where she was helping Mick like fix the computer. So I was like, what is she doing in there? Get out of there.
What are you doing in there?
What
Get
are you
out
doing
of there.
in
And go and have a baby. It's a little callback.
Nope.
I think that overall this episode is pretty cool. I think the focus on the Emma character was really well done. And I think that we definitely could have been led to believe that she did have the ability to be kind of like their, as Ned would call it from Spider-Man: Homecoming, the guy in the chair.
The guy in the chair, definitely. Right? I like how when she was like trying to slash the monsters, the timing of it, where I don't know if she was closing her eyes as she was doing it, but no, but she did it, and then she thought that she was actually doing damage. Like, I don't know, when she slashes, she closes.
Did Emma annoy you? Did Emma remind you of anybody that we know? Say it on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
L.
Oh, wow.
Is that who you're going to say?
No. I was going to say Daryl.
Daryl?
Yeah. Because it's kind of like, oh, yeah, all right. Like, I did
this. Yeah, okay. I can see that. Where they're a little in over their head.
Sure.
Yeah.
But she learned her self-worth and her self-value, and she knew what her role was. And I do love her interaction and the play. And I'll be honest with you, I do think her acting ability was pretty strong.
You think they're going to bring her back?
I would hope so, but I don't know. I mean, look, have we seen reoccurring characters on this show?
The girl that
one
that Peter's into.
Yeah, one.
Another funny scene that I liked in this episode is when they were gonna take her to the secret base, and then Calvin just driving her around. I was like, do you think she's gonna know? But no, it's because they're right there. They could have just walked through the door. But they knew that if they were just gonna walk her blindfolded, she's gonna figure it out.
I love that, by the way.
He did this whole thing where he threw the ninja star and called the bike, and then they just drove around in circles.
He did. Do you think
she's gonna notice? That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. You're accessing the morphing grid just to drive the girl around.
That's pretty funny, though. I think it's clever. I like that, actually. I think it works. It's just so funny.
Another cool thing one cool thing about that is that they could have easily just cut to them going into the secret hideout, but they made sure to add that little detail to make sure you know that they do feel like they need to protect their identities, protect the location of the secret base. So that little detail, that even if it's just for like 2 minutes, like sneaking that or putting that in there was important for them.
Do you think it's impossible for people to not compare her to other smart characters because she's smart and knows tech and wears glasses, like Billy and like Kendall? Like, is it so hard for people to fathom that, hey, maybe this is just a new character?
Like if she didn't have glasses.
Yeah. Is it so hard for? I
think it's more so for the kids, but I feel like that's an old way of thinking. Like nerds now not all of them have glasses, not all of them, do the tech stuff. So I feel this is like letting the if we were in the 90s it makes sense, but not now.
Yeah.
Like I feel like for Billy when they had glasses, like, oh, he's a nerd. Just so you know, he's a nerd.
So Power Rangers hasn't progressed, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
In the last 25 years.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
I don't think they're not aiming towards the kid audience, even though they say it is a kid show. I don't think they're listening to their audience, any of their audiences, because kids now like they want like instant gratification as far as the shows that are on TV now.
Do you think that the way that we kind of watch television now, whether it be from streaming services or from traditional TV like Nickelodeon or any of these other channels, do you think that that's going to affect the way that storytelling is going to be told in Power Rangers? Or do you think, because they're very old school, where it's still episodic, 22-episode seasons, it's on a network that, you know, it doesn't really cater itself well to Netflix, even though it's on Netflix technically. But do you think that there's ever going to be kind of a change there? Because most of all of these episodes
are standalones. They're
episodes.
Definitely standalones. You can definitely like just go into it in any episode and then still kind of follow it, because it's not like a whole storyline that you have to follow. I mean there'll be little nods to them, but you can't. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Is that for the kids that they do it like that? But
well, Jonathan's in the chat. I'm sure he loves this season, mainly because they're all standalone episodes. He's not a big fan of multi-part episodes.
Why? That doesn't make any sense.
But that's his thing. But I do agree. I don't necessarily think that that they're. I don't think that they're willing to change things up so drastically, because I felt like when they did that, fans liked it when it was called RPM. But then it's like, oh, this is too edgy. People are gonna.
I mean, there's edgier.
There's a
things.
car and it's dark and there's dirt.
There's edgier things on like Cartoon Network that kids love. I mean, they need to explore, need to expand, and try to like test the waters a little bit. I mean, what are they gonna lose if they try one episode or two episodes?
Just a couple of ratings. Just a couple of advertisers.
Oh, that's true. I guess that's true.
No, I don't think that's true at all, actually. I don't think it's true at all. I think that if...
You think they have the freedom to try to experiment with some things?
I think that they will always have the freedom. If it's good storytelling and people are watching it, then new advertising dollars are always going to come in. I think people are afraid to take that kind... I don't want to say people. I think at the time, Saban was afraid to take those risks. I'm really curious to see if Hasbro is going to play it safe or take risks. Everything tells me right now it's 50-50. Here's the reasons why. Let me break it down for you people out there that are watching at home. Number one, point for risk is because they're going to Beast Morphers.
Yeah.
If they were playing it safe, they'd go Q Ranger.
Yep.
So Beast Morphers, or I'm sorry, Go Buster is a risk.
I thought that was more of a transitional thing. Like they're just trying to get their foot in the water first, and then once they get the hang of it,
yeah,
then
but wouldn't you want to set yourself up to succeed though? I think Go Buster's a way bigger risk than Q Ranger.
You think so?
Yeah, I actually think I think that Q Ranger is even a bigger risk than Zoodra.
Yeah.
But regardless, I think that being with those suits being so different sets the tone that hey, we're moving into a different era of Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Now, more of the same. The cast is so young. I saw a great comparison that this should be called Power Ranger Spy Kids. If we're doing movie posters, Spy Kids is what I'm going to use for this.
I'm going to use that. That's going to be the new shirts. But you guys can check.
Spy Kids.
You guys could check out the rest of our Power Ranger shirts that we were selling at Power Morph
Point
on TeePublic. So you guys check those out because we have all 5 designs on there. I think the biggest seller right now is the Star Wars one. You know, and Star Wars is a pretty big thing. Mixing it with Power Rangers only makes sense. So yeah, you guys could check that out in the description. TeePublic store. There's sales like every 2 weeks. So yeah.
But not just that.
Yeah.
Because you did a good transition. Then he's like, where do I go from here? A lot of you guys really were have the shirts.
Yeah. I think Roger Velasco had retweeted one of our the Fast and Furious one.
Roger Velasco did retweet the Fast and Furious one. He's a big fan of that shirt. Mm-hmm. That was Jezzer's favorite shirt.
That is my favorite shirt.
But a lot of you guys that are in our community right now have a few of these shirts. I know that Anthony Davis, no, not the basketball player.
Yeah.
Jezzer always says that.
And I call him Anthony Davis with 2 eyebrows. That's
Matthew Thompson. And we're going to show a couple of pictures here.
In a little bit.
That's 2 shots for him. Let's keep count here.
No, I didn't let him know. That's my fault, so I'll probably take a shot for him. But
oh, yeah? Yeah, you already said it.
Ah, dang it, I said it.
You dealt it.
But as you were saying earlier about like it being a Spy Kids thing, the last week we reviewed the Go-Go Power Rangers comic, and it was a totally new artist, and like none of the characters really looked like their counterparts, like Austin St. John, or
It's too hard to tell.
yeah, it's very hard to tell. But that gave us the idea that maybe especially since it's under Hasbro now, Power Rangers has the freedom to make an animated show or cartoon show like they did with.
There is Roger Valesco wearing, or not, that's Christopher
Cayman Lee
wearing
yeah,
our shirt.
our
You
Star
can't really
Wars
tell
shirt.
that well. Let's move on to the next picture
Yeah.
where you can tell a little bit better.
Ooh,
There's Anthony.
And here, look,
and
he's
there's
with
with
Jordy.
Jordy. There's Levi.
If Anthony's in the chat, explain how this happened.
This is at Morphicon. For sure.
But it
And
looks
this
like
is
a
probably, yeah, it's probably the hotel lobby of the Hilton where we all stayed. But yeah, he was
got the
sporting
Star Wars shirt. Everyone's got the Star Wars shirt.
It's the best one, man.
Yeah, it's a good one.
So far, it's the best seller for sure. And it's also the 20th anniversary of Power Rangers in Space. So those shirts are selling out. So if you want to get your shirt, head over to that Public store. Look at that. Oh, look at that.
yeah.
That's kind of sideways there, but that's Jezzer and Blake Foster repping the Power Rangers Turbo shirt.
There you go. That's cool.
There you go.
He loved it. The only thing is when I bought that, but we didn't have his size.
Oh yeah.
So he said he's gonna put in a shadow box type thing.
What's a shadow box?
Like it's kind of like just a case that holds that you can frame your shirts or your merchandise in. He really loved it.
Look at that. Is that Matt Austin?
Yeah, he was super happy. The other Sky from SPD had just left, so we didn't get a picture.
That's pretty cool. That's Matt Austin because he was in that episode.
Yep,
Once a
right
Ranger.
there, Red Ranger.
That's awesome. Who else? What else we got here?
That's everything.
Repping these shirts.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so you
and
guys-
did we have the Roger Valesco tweet? Probably not. He tweeted about the Turbo
retweeted,
shirts.
yeah. He really liked the
He
shirt.
really liked the shirt. So if you want to get your shirts, you can do that in the description below. Get your favorite Power Ranger shirt and wear it to your favorite Power Ranger convention. Because guess what, guys? For all of you guys that are in the Orlando area on the East Coast of the United States, get ready for Ranger Stop. And you can wear one of your #show shirts proud at Ranger Stop.
And then when they ask you where'd you get it, go say T Public. That hashtag shows T Public store.
There you go. Let's get back on track here.
Yeah. So like I was saying earlier, Michael Bay had the Transformers movies, and then after that, Hasbro had made these animated Transformers show, or maybe I'm producing it. I think it was called Prime. There was Prime. There was Robots in Disguise. There's a few different ones where they had human characters in there, but they weren't tied down to make them look like their actor counterpart from the movies. Or
Is that jarring for you?
No, I mean, so with the new Go-Go Power Ranger comic book, I felt like, this gives them a little freedom to use the names of Jason and Trainee and Zach and make a Power Ranger animated show. Maybe it doesn't even technically have to be Mighty Morphin, but I mean that is.
But you can do that with looking like the characters also.
Yeah, but then royalties comes into play.
You don't have to pay for the royalties for art.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking since, they changed up the Go-Go Power Rangers character looks, they could probably make a animated show and add it to Hasbro's lineup.
So before we move on to our next topic, in the chat, what do you guys rank this episode? Tech support and Power Ranger Super Ninja Steel. And what do you rank this episode?
I'll give it a 3. Maybe 3.5 because of the scenes where she's fighting.
Fun.
Yeah, but yeah, I'll give it a 3 or a 3.5.
3.5 for me too. I will say that the second half of this Power Ranger season is better.
Yeah, and Peter said it was going to be.
He didn't lie.
He did not lie. Yeah, Transformers Prime.
I don't know why is that on the screen?
Oh, because I was talking about like how even after the movies they made
I don't like the way any of those Transformers look.
Do you like do they look better than the actual Michael Bay movies?
I think they're not as they're too angular. I like the boxy Transformers.
Yeah. So you're more of the G1, the G1 guy.
Yeah, those look like crap. Toku gives it a 4. Edward gives it a 4. Master Rider gives it a 1. Isaac gives it a 4.5. Jonathan Jennings gives it a 1. So a lot of the rankings are coming in.
It's
you
kind
guys
of
even here.
Yeah.
Jared gives it a 3. Master Rider Blue gives it a 0.5.
0.5.
We got Strider gives it a 4.
Man.
So it varies. I do think though that people have a bad. See, this is the same thing. People have a bad taste in their mouth because it started off weak.
Yeah.
When people don't want to open their eyes up to Power Rangers Season 2 and understand that whole season sucked. Like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers season 2 was terrible. The only good thing that came out of that was
if you
Tommy
watch
becoming the White
it now,
Ranger.
obviously on the Retro Ranger wrap up, you guys are watching it now. You guys are noticing all the little
There's
discrepancies.
so many Mighty Morphin apologists in the world that it's kind of crazy to me. It's kind of like, yeah, we get it. Like
It's nostalgia. Nostalgia gives them this power. Like, oh, it's so great because that's what I remember. Just because that's what you remember doesn't mean necessarily that's good.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you like the first Ninja Turtles movie. We'll get into
I
that
do.
later. We'll get into that
do.
later. It's terrible.
No, it is not.
It's terrible.
No, it is not.
It's crap.
It is way better than whatever any comic book movie that they're putting out now.
Any?
Not
It's
any.
better than
Okay,
Black
hold on.
Panther. You just said
No,
that the first
now he's
Ninja
putting
Turtles
words
movie
in
is
my-
better
I'm
than
talking
Black
about-
Panther.
I meant like the other Ninja Turtle movies.
You're an idiot. All right, so we're going to move on to our next topic. Now, you just recently talked about Mighty Morphin characters in the comic from Go-Go not looking like their counterparts.
Yeah.
However, in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers number 31, there's a lot more characters.
A lot of characters.
Does that get harder for you to distinguish who is who?
I think now with I was always wondering what the theme or what the story for Beyond the Grid was going to be after Shattered Grid, but I think now it's leaning more towards a sci-fi element, kind of like a Star Trek or Daniel's not here, but a Battlestar Galactica theme show because it's a space colony. It's Promethea is a space colony, and there's just so many people like trying to survive. I don't know how many months that they can survive on that space colony, and it's up to those six rangers to explore and try to find a way out, try to find a way back for these rangers to get back to their worlds. So I feel like the 6 rangers that are on the cover are kind of like our Captain Kirk, Spock, Uhura. They're those characters, and all the other rangers that. To be fair, I can't even recognize who some of them are.
Yeah, I didn't even like that one when
They
we
have
got
to say the name.
when we got Heckle. I was
Yeah.
like, this doesn't
That doesn't look like Heckle, yeah. But all those they're like the red shirts.
Here's the thing with the art. I'm
Yeah.
not Johnny here, so I'm not the expert to talk about this, but I feel like the faces. Look at the faces.
There's too much shadow coming from the.
No, they all look the same.
Yeah.
Like all of the actual
Ooh,
faces look
super
very
chat.
similar.
Toku says it reminds me of Stargate Universe. That's true.
I didn't see Stargate Universe, so I couldn't say.
Yeah.
But I think the faces all kind of look the same to me.
Yeah.
It's just very little. I think it's so hard to tell who's who, and I think.
Do
like,
any
even,
of the characters look like their
I mean, I can
counterparts?
only tell that like Andros is Andros because of his hair,
hair,
right?
yeah.
And I mean,
I can't
obviously-
tell Mike. I can't tell.
I know
who
that
Mike is.
that's Kimberly mainly because she has this established look like that, so I get it. But I can't tell that that's Cam.
I can't tell
I
that
can't
that's
tell that's
Tanya.
Mike. I don't know that that's Tanya. To me, it's very, very hard to recognize, and I think that, if that's what they're going, see, I always kind of struggle with this kind of question, right? Because if you're not reading a Batman comic book
Yeah.
and a guy is just in a suit, how do you know that's Bruce Wayne or not?
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing where there's a lot of like cosplayers that want to do the civilian cosplays of like Power Rangers. It's like, oh, so you're wearing a suit. You just kind of look like a car salesman or like a real estate agent. I can't tell that you're this character from this Power Ranger show. I think it's the same thing with this. But I mean, the story is interesting.
It sets up a lot of exposition.
Yeah, the story is interesting, and there's a lot more reading in this issue than
That's called exposition.
than I expected, and like because the characters don't look like their characters, it's hard
It's
to
hard to
connect.
follow. Like that guy in the hat. Is that Joel or is that Levi? I don't know.
I have
can't
no
tell.
idea. It's definitely.
Look,
It's
who is
harder
that?
to
Is that
tell.
Joel or Levi?
I'm guessing it's Joel, because he has the brown vest. But yeah, you can't tell unless they say their name, like Mike. I was like, oh, okay, that's Mike. But they don't do that sometimes with some of the characters. There's Mia from Samurai. She was in there, but I only knew it was Mia because they said Mia, and she was cooking. Yeah, so it's definitely gonna be different. But I'm interested to see what the story is, especially with the introduction of the Solar Ranger.
Now let's talk about the Solar Ranger. Let's move on to that because that's a big part of this.
Yeah, definitely. Because we don't technically know where she came from, who she is, if she's actually someone that we already know.
It's a cool costume, though.
Yeah. And then does she have music playing when she enters, or does she have a theme song?
It seems like there's music, right?
Yeah. But she had set up this whole, like,
Has
fake-
anybody ever tried playing those notes? Do we know what those notes like?
You can't without the bars. You're not
you
gonna
don't
know
know.
what they are, the placement of the bars. But you know that they're eighth notes or it's fast. But I think that
So is it more like Tommy's like dun 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 dun?
I don't know. I don't
Or is
know.
that just like heroic cue for music? Enter here.
If you guys could figure it out and play it on a piano, put that on THS hashtaggers, and we'll see what's actually.
I think the
going
costume looks cool. The
Yeah.
helmet reminds me a little bit of
Q Ranger.
Q Ranger. However, the hoodie look kind of reminds me of the Pink series that they did.
Oh, it kind of
with
reminds me of
Kimberly's.
the Ranger Slayer too.
A little bit.
Yeah. So, from the comic, they said that she was the reason why a lot of these Rangers were not able to morph is in this new world that the Promethea was in. They were losing their powers, and these 7 Rangers technically were the only ones that could morph, but
Yeah, Corone was one of them, right?
Jerome was one of them, and she stayed back on the ship. But their morphs are limited, so we don't know how long they could keep morphing. So that's going to be an interesting thing to see. Maybe like towards as we continue on with Beyond the Grid, one by one, each ranger is going to lose their powers. So I don't know. There might be just one ranger left, trying to figure out how to get the rest of the colony of rangers back to their respective worlds.
You want to take a bet on who you think that one ranger is? I think I know who it is.
It's going to be Ranger Slayer.
It's going to be Ranger Slayer.
It's going to be Ranger Slayer.
Who should it be?
But that's if that's the storyline that they're gonna go, where each ranger is gonna lose their powers.
I like the exposition. I like that we have a new team. I kind of like where this is headed. I like that it's a mishmash of teams or characters. The thing is, you're gonna have to explain at some point how the Dark Ranger got his powers. Why he is called the Dark Ranger.
He had like a quick he saved.
Yeah, but that's still not an explanation on how he got his
explain-
powers, nor about how he got his name. So that's kind of weird. The Solar Ranger makes sense on one thing here. So we know that the Morphin Grid's gone.
Yes.
They can't use it.
Or they're not connected to it in this new world.
So if she's the Solar Ranger, are we led to believe that she's getting her energy? She's siphoning it off other Rangers, but does her power come from the sun?
It's gonna be interesting. Would you want the Solar Ranger to be someone that we know in the comic?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it. I mean, I wouldn't mind it being like an exclusive character to comics specifically.
Who would you want it to be?
Grace. I don't know. No, Grace is
Grace?
in the. I don't know.
Grace is in Promethea. So
I don't know. Maybe somebody we don't know.
That would be interesting. I kind of wish that it's not someone we know, and like maybe that way we could get more of a deep story as far as who it is, and we could see how she became, and if she has a team. What if she has a whole team? We don't know.
You know, I always thought about that with the Phoenix Soldier and Q Ranger.
Yeah.
Because he had such a different helmet with like a thing.
The theme was totally different from the Q Rangers.
Yeah. We got another super chat. It says Toku says maybe OG Magna Defender Jedi Spirit later on. Wouldn't that was a dude though, right?
Which one?
Magna Defender, the OG Magna Defender.
Yeah, it was a dude.
Huh? Who could it be? Do you think?
I don't know.
Maybe it's Emma from Power Rangers Super Ninja Steel.
Maybe. Who knows? They call back, we bring back Emma. But so, you're saying you didn't like the comic? Or you didn't like this?
I didn't say that. I didn't get through it because you kept talking to me.
Oh, I'm sorry. But yeah, so Corone fights her, loses her powers, and the 6 Rangers have to get back to Promethea. Her main goal was she was trying to take the Green Psycho blade. I guess that was what's powering the Promethea. I don't know. It was a trap. They set him up, and then I guess there was like monsters or creatures on the ship that they inhabited or that they got onto, and now it just cuts off right there.
What if it's Sestra?
Sestra.
Yeah, remember that chick that Billy fell in love with that was from Aquitar and helped him like when he was old, and then helped him when he was young, turn him back. Young?
Oh, okay.
I don't know who it is.
I don't know. It could be It really could be anybody. It could be it could be another villain that had.
Give us your best guess in the chat right now.
Yeah.
I want to know who you guys think it is. We should start up some type of poll.
Yeah.
Top choice right now for you is?
I want to say it's one of the female villains. That's maybe like Trakina or something.
Trakina?
Yeah, I mean, because it is Promethea. It is the Terra. It's the Terra.
So you're assuming that she's a villain? I'm
assuming she's a villain that got Ranger powers. So I'm going with Trakina. What do you think?
I'm gonna go on a limb here.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say it's Delcia.
Wow, that's a deep that's gonna be interesting because that technically doesn't exist, that universe.
That's the only reason I think it's Delcia.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It could be.
I mean, also, the music notes make sense.
The
now.
music notes would make sense
like,
because it's in the movie.
These sticks, whistling sticks.
Yeah. So I'm gonna just throw a shot in the dark and say it's still Sia.
That'd be cool.
If it's still Sia, then I'm like, dude, this is. Yeah, it's those whistling sticks. Remember she made that noise in the show. But yeah, it was pretty cool. So what did you rank this overall? Should people pick this up? It's a good jumping on point. Just because Kyle Higgins is gone doesn't mean you got to abandon the book.
You don't have to abandon the book. It's definitely going to be different. You have to change your mindset on the storyline and the tone of the comic. It's definitely going to be more sci-fi, I think. It's going to be them going to...
Do you like Power Ranger seasons based in space?
I do. I like... one of my favorite seasons was Lost Galaxy.
It's good.
Yeah.
The villains are actually probably better. Like,
Yeah.
I was just rewatching that season and how underrated that is. You know what else is an underrated season?
What?
Lightspeed Rescue.
Really?
Dude, it's good.
Really?
Like, I went back and started rewatching it. There's so many great, like, themes in there, and it's like, it pays off. When they were doing that show, they had a direction of where they knew it was going, and it took some dark turns, man, for being like a kid's show. I think that it's one of the best seasons.
The whole thing where he sacrifices his son, or he gives up his son.
Maybe he legitimately makes a deal with the devil.
Yeah.
Like to save his son, and it's quite interesting. And then you got that Carter story where he's kind of like trying to live up to this expectation of a guy that saved him back in the day.
Yeah.
So you got a call back there.
I'm gonna rewatch it.
It's
again.
good.
I'm gonna rewatch
It stands up. It's pretty good. Go and watch it. Check it out. That's my binge a season. Oh, this week it's Lightspeed Rescue.
Yeah, Lightspeed Rescue. I'll try that out.
Let's move on to our next topic now. Power Rangers, talking about sequels, which we weren't, but we're going to.
Nice
RJ. Oh, by the way,
What?
Give us your guesses in the chat who you think it is, who you think the Solar Ranger is. Not only put it here in the chat, but also put it in THS hashtaggers. That way we can start a little poll there, and we can get some.
Yeah, and then towards the end of Beyond the Grid, we can see who is right. Mm-hmm. Let's see who's in the. What are they saying in the chat?
So now let's talk about RJ Kyler.
RJ Kyler.
What does he want to see in a sequel? First of all, what do you want to see in a sequel of Power Rangers, the Power Rangers movie?
I want to see better.
Would you call it Power Rangers 2017 Part 2?
What would
Just kidding.
Power Rangers 2? I guess it'd be Power Rangers 2. I want to see more villains. Like bring back Rita if they can. Do you think they can bring back Elizabeth Banks?
Yeah.
Easy. Probably. How about Bryan Cranston?
I mean, Elizabeth Banks made 3 Pitch Perfect movies. So.
Oh, that is true. That is true. Josh was just telling me how he watched Pitch Perfect 3. Yeah, bring back Elizabeth Banks. Bring in Lord Zed.
Played by?
Ooh. Who would Lord Zed be played by?
Michael Fassbender.
No, that would probably no.
Christoph Waltz.
Who is the? Oh no, he's in Shazam. I was gonna say Mark Strong.
Mark Strong would be good though.
Yeah, it has to be someone kind of menacing. Maybe Lord Voldemort, the guy that played Lord Voldemort, Ralph Fiennes.
You're talking like Oscar winners. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Fair enough. All right.
Yeah, I don't know.
What does RJ want to see in the movie?
So he wants to see Jason's story with his parents expanded on. So he had said in that their relationship was kind of like a Mufasa Simba relationship, and I mean that's true. There was a lot of like dialogue. He was one of the parents that had a lot more lines than the rest of the parents, and it was trying to set up this whole the dad being disappointed in Jason not living up to his potential. So the fact that RJ wants to see more of that, I mean, maybe we could get a little bit of that, but the first movie covered that, that covered it. Why do we have to keep? I want to see more the parents of the other Rangers.
Here's a real good question: is that if we do see a sequel, is it still going to take place if they're in high school? Because at that
they're definitely going to be older, right?
They're definitely going to be older.
Yeah, because it's been a year.
It's going to be 2 years at this point, coming up next year.
Yeah, I mean, because they didn't really cast young.
And we have to assume that they were in their senior year, because they talked about how Jason was throwing away his college opportunities to play football. So are they going to be in college, or are we going to get a younger group?
Yeah. Do you think that they're going to change some of the team members?
I mean, it could make sense. And here's an interesting take that they could do, because obviously you'd have to assume they're going to bring in a Green Ranger.
Yeah.
But if they don't, let's say Naomi Scott can't come back.
Yeah.
Then I think you could bring in an Aisha to replace her and be the new Pink Ranger. You could definitely change things up a little bit. You don't have to use Rocky, Adam, and Aisha at the same exact colors they had. you can definitely make Rocky the new Red Ranger or
Yeah.
Blue Ranger, whatever.
From the article, RJ seems like he intends to come back.
Yeah. Well, I mean, his show just got canceled, so.
Okay, so he intends to come
You're
back.
killing me up here. Season 2 is the last season. Season 3 just got canceled by Showtime, so he does want to come back, and he was the best part of it. He was the heart and soul of the first movie.
Yeah, so
he was the
he
best
has
part
to
of
come
it.
back. Maybe he takes a leadership role in the next movie.
I don't know do you see him being the leader though?
A leadership role, not necessarily the leader, but like take control a little bit.
Maybe.
Because in the first one, he was kind of like they kind of pushed him aside, didn't really take him too seriously. But
Who would you be okay to lose in the next movie if you had to lose one of them?
maybe Zach.
I would say Zach too.
I think Zach. I think if they were to expand on the story a little bit more, maybe I'd want to keep him. Is that RJ?
Yeah.
That does not look like RJ. But yeah, maybe Zach, because his character's kind of dry.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the actor. I know he's going to be an Aquaman, so it's going to be interesting to see how he is in that. But yeah, maybe Zach. Everybody else has a pretty decent storyline, except for Zach. You know?
I agree. What do you think about the costumes? Do you think they need updating at all?
I think they should try. Maybe a little bit. I mean, they obviously want to try to keep the same aesthetic as what they started off with Lionsgate. Whether or not, so maybe I don't know if you know. Is Lionsgate still gonna run it?
Yeah.
But Hasbro.
As far as I know, but you have to assume though that Allspark, which is the subsidiary of Hasbro, they're going to have a huge involvement in it, and Allspark is also responsible for the soft reboot of the Transformers movie, which we're getting with Bumblebee.
Do you think that's a soft reboot?
It is a soft reboot, mainly because John Cena told me it's a soft reboot.
Okay.
But the movie that we're getting is a Paramount movie.
Okay.
But it's also ran by Allspark. Allspark is trying to take their properties and weave something better together. And
Are they trying to build a universe?
Who's not trying to build a universe
Yeah.
though, right? The Mummy tried to do it with Tom Cruise and Universal.
That was
DC tried to do it with Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck. That's why you got this shirt, right? Respect the
go.
stash.
I like that shirt.
Who else tried to do it? Power Rangers is probably going to try to do it with Transformers, Mask,
G.I. Joe. That is a possibility.
See, and this is why I think that we have a great what's it called? I think that we have a great
Spit it out.
I think it's a great opportunity for Lightspeed Rescue to be attached to G.I. Joe.
That is true. If they were to go that direction, it depends on on the writing side, who's taking the helm for the Power Ranger writing. Mm-hmm. If it's going to be the same people that always do, was it Orky and the same people that do the Transformer movies? Then
Super chat. I like to see more about Zordon and Rita problems.
Yeah.
Hey, question in the chat. I have a quick question. Do you think franchises draw people to movies, or do you think it's the movie stars that draw people to movies? I'm just really curious about that.
I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, you don't.
Here's one for you.
Okay.
It's Sherlock Holmes.
Okay.
Robert Downey Jr.'s movie made I think it was $60 million.
Okay.
Would you say that Ian McKellen is a pretty big actor too, right?
Ian who?
Ian McKellen?
Yeah, in his time, I guess, yeah.
Well, he drew $2 million. So they're both Sherlock Holmes.
Who else is playing Sherlock Holmes in the future? Will Ferrell.
Robert Downey Jr.
Will Ferrell's going to be Sherlock.
He is going to play Sherlock Holmes.
So Holmes and Watson, is that what it's called?
Holmes and Watson. But I think that with Power Rangers, the reason I asked that question is because do you need a draw? For example, you said bring Elizabeth Banks back or bring Bryan Cranston back. Do you need a big actor to bring in people to go see the Power Rangers sequel?
I want to say yes. I want to say at least one.
So you don't think that you need one big actor at least?
At least, yeah.
Or else it's not going to fly.
It's not that it's not going to fly. I just feel like if you have one big actor, Hollywood actor on it, it gives the audience a little bit more confidence in going to see it because they landed that actor. That actor read the script. He liked it. So if they're big fans of that actor, then they're like, oh, well, if he liked it, I like all the movies that he or she is in, I'm going to go watch it. What do you think?
I agree with you to an extent.
Point, yeah.
But not fully.
What's a good example of like a movie that they didn't have a big actor, but it was still a successful movie?
Star Wars, the first one.
The first one?
A New Hope.
Oh. Well, I wasn't around when that came out, so. Yeah.
I mean, the only real was. But I think Star Wars, I think that kind of set the precedent.
Because everybody was
I would probably
a
go as far
nobody.
to say Lord of the Rings also, mainly because at the time, Ian McKellen wasn't a huge name. I think the biggest name might have been Elijah Wood. Or maybe Orlando Bloom. Yeah, maybe Sean Bean. So it's very hard to say. Lord of the Rings would probably be in there.
Okay.
But then also...
But yeah, but...
On the flip side of that, though, on the flip side of that, just because you do have big actors doesn't necessarily mean it's going to draw money, even if it is a strong franchise.
Okay.
And a great point of that is called Solo. That is the biggest Star Wars movie that had the most actors in it.
I still haven't seen that movie.
So I think that if even inserting those people in it, it's... I think Marvel did it the right way where they put...
Does it depend on the production company or the studios?
I mean, yeah, well, depending on what it is, because if you look at something like Blumhouse,
Yeah.
they're basing everything around their movies instead of their stars.
Yeah.
They get it paid in the back end. But if you're talking about like Transformers, then that's a completely different scenario, right?
When the first Michael Bay Transformers came out, the teaser trailer had nobody in the trailer, like nobody. Like they didn't say who was in the film. There was a bunch. I think they added Shia LaBeouf, but Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, because the cell there is Optimus Prime. Mm-hmm. It's not necessarily Shia LaBeouf or Megan Fox.
Yeah.
That's gonna help, but the cell's Optimus Prime. Yes. I think with Power Rangers, it's harder to sell the Red Ranger or Alpha 5 or Rita Repulsa or even Lord Zed. Mm-hmm. Because I think that, and especially Lord Zed, mainly because everyone wants Lord Zed.
Even after 25 years,
Here's
it's
the deal.
Still hard?
Everybody wants Lord Zed, and I understand why they want him, because they only remember him from the first episode that he debuted in.
Where he was
You
menacing.
have to realize Lord Zed became a domesticated little bitch cake. Straight up.
That's because he was drugged, and then he never was the same after that.
The potion wore off. He
but
was
he
a
was never the
domesticated,
same. He had, like,
oh, Rita, I'll
PTSD.
do whatever you want me to do.
He had PTSD, and it's just like, oh, what? I don't remember my past self.
I
am
honestly
not menacing anymore.
think there's more menacing villains out there than Lord Zed. Personally, I think one of the more menacing villains was King Mondo, or even King Mondo's son that stole Tommy and like brainwashed
Oh
him.
yeah, see, that was one of my favorite storylines.
See, I think that people give too much credit to Mighty Morphin. I think we have to look at the lore of Power Rangers. One thing I love about Lost Galaxy, which you brought up earlier of being a good season, was that Churkina was trying to be a villain, but she sucked at fighting. She couldn't do anything.
No, she had daddy issues. She
Did have daddy issues. She was trying to live up to an expectation. But when she went to Onyx, that one planet where it's like the evil planet, she got her ass whooped until she met a dude named Villamax that was like, I'll train you. And that dude, the one thing I love about that season was that guy was a villain.
Was that the guy with the frilly things?
No. But he had honor.
Yeah.
That dude had honor. And I thought that it was, I thought that was pretty cool. Look at that. Somebody look at that Saint Nick Conqueror. Yes, Joe said was a pussy whip. He was. But yeah. Hashtag domesticated bitch cake. That's what's going on right now.
Yeah, I mean, Lost Galaxy and Space too. They had like the villains had like deep story, and they were menacing. Like not so much Astronema, but what's that? Darkonda?
Darkonda
was scary.
Great, man.
Like, Ecliptor
was
cool.
Darkonda was in space, though, no?
Yeah, space.
Okay.
Yeah. Darkonda was cool. Ecliptor was not necessarily a bad. He was more of an anti-villain. He was just like a thorn in the Power Ranger side. But, yeah, a lot of people, like you said, a lot of people do go back to Rita and Zed as being, oh, that's my favorite villain. It's like, no, they were a joke. I mean, same for Goldar. At the beginning, Goldar was this scary monster.
Because he looked cool.
Yeah, and Jason, was pretty much scared of him whenever he was in the Dark Dimension. And then towards the beginning of Zeo, he was a joke. He lost his wings at one point, and then they brought in Rito, and they made this like comedic duo. Yeah, it's a joke. So hopefully, with the new season, the actors that are gonna be the new villains are gonna bring like a different tone to the show.
Yeah, man, I hope so.
Bring it back to the Disney era. Even though a lot of people say, "Oh, the Disney era isn't great."
I think that
they had a lot of hits. The
Disney era was better.
SPD?
Unpopular opinion. It was better than the original Saban era.
Really?
Yeah.
Original Saban era.
I think so. Overall, yes.
Overall.
Yes.
Okay. I know it's better than the Neo Saban era.
For sure. I think the Disney era is the strongest era of Power Rangers.
There were some
consistently.
Misses. There were some misses.
Yeah, but the same thing with the regular Saban era.
Okay.
You think Turbo's a shining star that they get? You think Power Rangers, Alien Rangers was a shine? Alien Rangers might be the worst.
Alien
followed
Rangers?
by Turbo.
Alien
And I
Rangers. I
honestly-
don't know if that was a whole. Was that technically a whole series?
Unpopular opinion. I
Okay,
know
here you
people
go.
are gonna hate
Here
this.
we go.
and
Here we
this
go.
is-
Let's
this
go.
is the-
Let's watch the chat go like
this is the
super
facts.
fast.
As of right now, I think Time Force is overrated.
Ooh.
I think that
Oh,
Time
there's
Force
gonna be
is-
so many angry people in here.
I think Time Force is overrated. I think people like Time Force because it had a cool. Everybody likes cool first episodes. Is the trend I'm seeing.
Okay.
Like people like Mighty Morphin. People like Mighty Morphin because it's a first episode and,
Yeah.
and it was the first season. People like firsts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Time Force to me, it's kind of like okay, cool. There's so many plot holes in that season. That,
Yeah, the
like,
corny-
it
they had
doesn't
the
make
corny
any
jobs,
sense.
yeah.
They had shitty jobs that nobody cared about. It's like okay, great, mow my lawn.
They had like
Wes.
they had the weird costumes and like they had a lot of. There's a lot of wigs in that series.
And it just didn't. As many people want to say, it's like, oh, it's one of the best seasons.
Jonathan says, "Somebody hold me back." What are you gonna do?
What do you do, Jonathan? Calm down. Honestly, people love Time Force, but I think that people love Time Force because other people love Time Force. Get a fucking opinion of your own. Like, the fact is, Time Force, I don't think Time Force is as good as Lightspeed Rescue. I don't think Time Force is nearly as good as Zeo. I think Zeo's way better than Time
Zeo
Force.
was great, actually. I think they went in a direction with Zeo when they started off, and then they lost it when they went to Turbo.
There's one cool thing about Time Force.
What?
Alex dies in the first episode. But guess what? He doesn't stay dead. He comes back.
Yeah,
like, it's
timelines.
like, dude, what? And
How about the redemption of Rancic?
Great.
You didn't really. It wasn't.
I
really-
don't care about
Oh,
Rancic.
okay.
He's not a menacing enough villain for me. He's not nearly as good as some of the other villains we would see in the Disney era.
Yeah, that's true.
You know who had a better redemption story?
Who?
Is the villain from Dino Thunder. That was the principal. Or not the principal, sorry. The villain that was the the principal too, but
Yeah.
look at that. Let's see. Common Rider gives us a super chat. Disney era slow-mo explosion pissed me off.
Slow-mo explosions.
Because the regular Saban era was spot on.
No,
with
the
everything,
Saban
right?
era, they had like little sparklers connected to the chest. And they just kind of like, ugh, like they slash them and the little sparklers come out. I love the explosions.
Yeah, I agree with DDT in this. It's like something else that they kind of set up in that and never pay off. Wes and Jen never pay it off. You leave this dangling carrot.
They kind
for
of
your
paid it
fans.
off a little bit in that Wild Force.
Do
team up.
they?
They're like, oh, Wes, Jen's off and she's
You know
doing
what?
some
You know
crazy
what
shit.
that makes me. What I hear when you say that
What?
is that. Oh well, the extended cut's better.
Oh, okay.
Like
Okay.
that's no.
Martha.
Yeah, like no, that's stupid. I honestly don't think there's enough depth in that season to make it great. I think it's a good season. I'm not saying it's the worst.
No,
I'm just saying
definitely.
it's overrated.
It's a decent season. I have to go back. There are a few seasons I have to go back and watch, and especially as an adult, I haven't watched them with adult eyes. Lost Galaxy, I started watching recently, and I really liked it. I liked the whole space colony thing.
Lost Galaxy's really good.
Yeah, Zeo. Zeo is really good because Zeo like takes the time to like expand on a lot of like these side characters. So I like.
Layla says that, Joe, if you can come to Arkansas one day, I would gladly explain why you have a severely wrong opinion. Well, let me comment on that. Let's be real about this. If you honestly go back and watch Time Force, just go back and watch it, and you tell me that the cheesy factor, because Lightspeed Rescue, one thing that they don't have, the only thing that I would say is cheesy about the duration of that might have been Joel pursuing Miss Fairweather. Fair enough.
You
That might be the
don't
only.
think that's a realistic thing that would happen?
I mean, I think that he went over the top for sure, but that was his character, and I understand that.
Okay.
Them having to get shitty jobs from week to week felt like a bad reality show. And that's the way I feel about this. It was like, okay, let's see what jobs we can get this week. Let's be painters. Let's do this. Let's do that. Oh my gosh, dude, you guys are supposed to be...
Time Force, yeah.
It's Time Force. Like, are you
Yeah.
kidding me? You can go back... You know who did
You
Time
don't
Force
need
better?
jobs, you-
Hyperforce.
You don't need jobs to make money. Technically, they have the technology to like make money, make food or whatever. But yeah, they really didn't have to stay in that era.
Yeah, I mean, people
Too
that
long.
it's Time Force apologists out there that think that it's the greatest thing the Power Rangers ever produced, and I'm gonna tell you, it's not.
Blockwing says Time Force had a mixture of cheesy but heartwarming moments at the same time.
Every season had a mixture of cheesy and heartwarming moments. That's nothing different that we've ever seen in any season of Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jonathan. That's just the way it is. I mean, Every season had cheesy moments. Every season had heartwarming moments. This season, a season that you don't like, Power Rangers Super Ninja Steel, has cheesy moments and heartwarming moments. Did anybody else remember that episode about Preston and that fucking tree and his dad?
Yo.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, see, people. That's what I'm saying is that they're so blinded by the bullshit that they think that these things.
Layla says In Space was overrated, and Craig says SPD was overrated. I don't like. I liked In Space.
In Space told the reason why In Space was a good season because it actually told an overarching story.
Yes.
This didn't do that. This didn't. Time Force isn't a story that's like. That's one thing I respect about Space, Lost Galaxy, Lightspeed Rescue, SPD, and a lot of the other seasons was that I think that they told overarching stories. This whole story wasn't about solving an overarching theme. It was about a monster of the week that they'd have to fight Rancic, and like we have to get a job.
Yeah.
Cool.
Or collect the monsters. They're pretty much Ghostbusters.
Cool story, bro. Yeah, they were Ghostbusters.
They were Ghostbusters. Common Writer says 2 words: Operation Overdrive.
Was the worst. One of the worst
sucks.
seasons.
Yeah, where are you gonna go with that one? That was terrible.
Cool story, bro. All right, let's move on to our next topic before I get even more upset about it. I didn't say Time Force was a bad season.
No, you just said it's overrated. There's a difference. There's definitely a difference.
Target exclusive Nerdist Megazord. They put one out.
Yeah.
Great.
Next story.
The Target exclusive Nerdist Megazord is something I won't be getting. How about you, Jezzer?
Nope. It looks like the color. Like what they just wanted to paint. There's a back in what was it maybe 2014? They had this Power Rangers art show, and they were selling like these blank Power Ranger Super Mega Force vinyls, and you could paint your own design and do whatever you want with them. And then people would they had them lined up in the art show. I feel like this is what this is. The Tokyo Vinyl's like, let's reach out to a company and give them full freedom of how they want to design this, and then we'll put it out.
I want to get to the chat. Derek agrees with me. Derek, you made it to the top of my list, my friend.
Derek is back. I haven't seen him in a long time.
I haven't seen him in a while. He says the cheesiest part in Lightspeed Rescue was the romance for Joel and Miss Fairweather and Chad and Mermaid Princess. The rest was top notch. Edward says his favorite season was Jungle Fury. J Smooth Soulbeat says, but Star Wars isn't cheesy. I don't think anyone ever brought up Star Wars. I don't know where that came from.
Star Wars is not cheesy. No, we were talking about Star Wars for the franchise thing, but not for not cheesy.
Not cheesy. Dude, overreaching stories doesn't equal the best thing ever. I don't know what that's in reference to. Mystic Force is underrated, says Common Ranger.
I don't know. That one was like, I don't know. That looked like a really bad show. I don't know. It was just a bad show.
It was subpar.
It was subpar. I liked the whole family aspect, but it was kind of.
It was still better than Turbo.
Oh yeah.
And it was still better than Alien Rangers.
I like the whole. Is his name Korag, where he turned good?
Also, another season that I didn't really like was Wild Force. I thought that season was boring as hell.
Yeah, that was a. That was. It was very different because of the split. Because when they changed companies, or Disney and Saban.
Yes, but I will agree that the Neo Saban era is the weakest.
Definitely
era.
Definitely the weakest.
So, all right, let's move on. So that Nerdist exclusive, you're not going to get it?
No.
Well, you buy all these toys and try to sell them on eBay.
No, but not that. No.
It's an exclusive. You can get it at Target. You're at Target all the time.
If I were to go to, I do go to Target all the time. If I were to go to Target and get an exclusive, it would be the Titanus Funko Pop one where it's but you can't find them because all the Target people are like hiding them in the back or something. I don't know.
Yeah, because they care that much about the Power Ranger.
I have no idea. They just see a really big Funko Pop. It's like, oh, this must be expensive. I'm gonna buy and sell.
You're telling me JD works at every Target, at every store, at every nation?
JD? No.
It's impossible.
A JD type. A JD type. And then next story, the visual history of Power Rangers. I think this is interesting. Because it's kind of like footnotes or little production art from like each series.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then there's even a story with it, and you get to see how they came up with the design. It'd be cool. Would you want to watch like a full documentary on all of this stuff?
Yeah, I think it's better DVD extras to sell those.
Yeah, definitely. Because they don't add DVD extras on their DVD sets. It's just straight up the show, and not even bloopers, not even anything. So it's like they're kind of just half-assing it.
That's another thing this Saban era did do that I really did like, and it stops after space.
Yeah.
Is the bloopers.
Yes.
I've been asking for bloopers in these, but you idiot producers don't listen to me.
Well, you guys do everything so perfectly. You don't have bloopers.
Yeah, or we just have lazy people here. Either way, it would have been cool, but I do think that this Ultimate Visual History would be pretty cool.
So it's coming out in November 6th. You can pre-order on Amazon. I think it's like $31. So if you're a huge Power Ranger fan, check it out. And I've seen a few people that have it already. So
are you gonna buy it?
Probably not. I'll probably like go to Barnes and Nobles, look over it.
Power Ranger documentary would be pretty cool
Yeah.
if this stuff was kind of.
Has there not been a Power Ranger documentary?
There is actually.
Uh-huh.
In the Shout Factory. I have the Shout Factory box set.
2014, they were filming they're doing.
I have it.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, where they had like interviews with actors.
The interview starts off with Haim Saban, and then it goes to like some actors, some behind the scenes.
So is it good though?
I mean, it's worth watching.
It's definitely. How long is it?
I think it's like maybe like 30, 40 minutes.
So that's interesting.
It's decent enough time.
Yep.
We're getting wrapped up, but your co-host isn't even here, so I don't know why we're doing that. But all right, so we're gonna wrap it up.
Super chat. Common Rider says, "I can't wait for you guys to do Turbo movie." Are we gonna?
Yeah,
so when you guys do retro, are you gonna do?
Hey, guess what? We have a big Power Ranger page on Facebook. A lot of people may or may not know about this. It is THS Power Rangers. Go check that out. We're gonna do some cool exclusive things there. If you guys are enjoying our spotlights that we do. That tonight we have Maverick on.
Yeah.
And Maverick actually got really far in the Power Ranger auditions. We're going to talk all about that tonight. We're also going to talk, the whole point I brought the spotlights up were because on THS Power Rangers, we're going to start doing exclusive spotlights with Power Rangers on our Facebook page. So you can check that out.
Like you're going to ask them like really deep questions about.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you a really deep question. See, it's going to go like this. We're role playing.
Am I a Power Ranger or am I me?
You're you.
I'm me?
Yeah, you're you.
We already did my spotlight. That's...
Well, we're just role playing.
Okay,
just pretend like you're you.
So I'm going to pretend I'm going to give you fake answers.
No, give me real answers.
No, I'm gonna give
all right,
fake
so
answers.
Jezzer, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
How do you feel about people that book Power Rangers at conventions?
Some of them suck.
You want to give us any names?
No.
Well, right there. They're going to be hard-hitting questions like that. You get Jezzer's opinion on that on his new Twitter account.
I don't have a new... Oh, I do, but I get confused. I need to switch up the pictures because I'm switching between them. But yeah.
What's your new Twitter account?
Cookie Face.
Cookie Face. You guys made it happen. Cookie Face is going...
It's been a while. It's been here for a while. I just don't utilize it too much.
Why?
Because I don't know, I have two of them, and I still don't really know how to use Twitter. So.
You have two Twitter accounts, and you
don't
even know how to use one of them.
I don't understand Twitter.
Great.
I'm still learning Twitter. So if you guys can show me how that works, that'd be cool.
All right, so Jezzer and I, again, like we said, we're going to both be in New York next week. We're going to do a meetup, so we got to figure out when that's going to be.
Blackwing says, Jezzer.
His name's not Blackwing. His name is Jonathan Jennings.
He says, by the way, that's a nice shirt. Yes, it is a nice shirt, but you can get cool shirts also on TeePublic. Is that a point?
That was a good one.
Nah, dang it.
You have the worst transitions. Those are terrible.
But yeah, it's a Henley, by the way. Yeah. Oh, so you got the. I still haven't made my shirt. Because
it doesn't exist.
It does exist. I posted the art on the page and asking them if they liked it.
Cookie Face Army is dead.
It's not. It might be dead.
Cookie Face Army
is dead. It might be dead because Layla jumped ship and everybody jumped ship.
Who did she jump ship to?
I don't know, but I think after the whole spaghetti sauce thing, everybody jumped ship.
What do you mean spaghetti sauce thing? So that means we're bringing back the Illuminati as hardcore as we did before. People are gonna get so mad about it.
What happened to the Illuminati?
I told people I'm never gonna sell the shirts.
Oh man. Can we get a shirt?
Well, yeah, the members, but we're going to be hardcore about it. It's for all the people that think Time Force is overrated. People that have actual opinions.
If you guys want to send more angry messages to Joe about him hating Time Force, put that
I don't hate it. Don't say I hate it.
About him hating Time Force, put it on TH's hashtag.
I just think it's overrated. I don't.
Do you like the suits?
No.
No?
No.
It doesn't make any sense?
And the Six Ranger suit, no. It's
and the Six Ranger suit's a little lazy?
It's a little lazy.
It's a little
cool.
lazy. It's like the dude was making the designs I messed up on this one. It's fine. We'll just
That'll be your Six Ranger this season. And I think the characterizations are kind of cool. Mm-hmm. I think that honestly, Lucas, I have no idea what his role in the season was.
He's just the
Blue Ranger?
douchey, the douchey dude.
Oh, okay, cool. It makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense now. And then you got, I like Katie.
How about Trip?
Trip was okay.
Yeah.
Trip was cool.
Jen?
Jen was the best character.
Because she's the kind of like the first female
I
leader.
think that Wes, personally,
Okay, here we go.
I like Jason Font as a person,
Jason Font's awesome.
but I think Wes's character, like his history in Power Rangers, to me is way lackluster compared to what Jen should be.
Yeah.
Like Jen should be coming back for all these I mean, Jen is a way stronger character.
Especially they on the crossover with Wild Force, they focus more on her being like this badass ninja. Not
should.
ninja.
And they should, because even in the Forever Red, like Wes just kind of shows up.
He was just there. He was just there.
Hey, who are you? Oh, cool. Oh, Eric. Hey, like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like it's like whatever. We're gonna wrap up here, and we got the Henshin Hangout coming up right now, right after this.
Yeah.
Your partner's out here, but you're going solo, so that's what's gonna happen, and we're gonna have fun. So you know what you're gonna talk about tonight?
Yeah.
What are you gonna talk about? Give us a little tease.
We'll talk about Lupin Ranger versus Pod Ranger and my Kamen Rider Zeo, which I'm still not a big fan of. But
You don't
I'm,
like it?
It's kind of it's kind of I don't know. It's kind of stupid. Like
No, time out, Layla. She says, watch Time Ranger, or you'll understand Time Force even more.
We're going back to the whole thing of him saying,
Hey,
"Oh, watch the extended
hey,
cut."
guess what? I
Huh.
heard the Batman v Superman's a really good movie, but you just got to watch that special edition that's about 97 hours long. No thanks.
No, but yeah, we're talking about Kamen Rider Zeo. It's a slow burner for me. They're talking of they advertise like time travel, but they haven't been time traveling like what, a year. They've been time traveling a year or so. Yeah, but I don't know. So if you guys want to hear me rant about how bad the show is, then come join Henshin Hangout with me and Johnny, because Justin's not here. He had some car problems.
Great. There's
Yeah.
Johnny. Johnny's not here either.
Yeah.
Though. All right, have fun with that. All right. Where can everyone find you on social media?
You can find me on all social media at Jezzer Zeus, or you can find me on Henshin Hangout next, and on not this Thursday. We're going to New York on
Wednesday.
Thursday.
We'll be there Wednesday.
Wednesday morning or Wednesday afternoon.
Wednesday.
Maybe we do the
afternoon.
meetup on Wednesday. Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Where can we find you on social media?
That hashtag Joe, but you can find me in New York this Wednesday through Sunday.
Yeah.
And if you guys want to do a meetup, hit us up and let us know.
Yeah. Put in THS hashtaggers.
All right. Take care, guys.